Okay, today I'm going to show you throw some small pieces. In this case, I'm going to throw some shallow balls up the hum and cut it off. To throw up the hum, basically you just focus on the top portion of the clay. You center this part and you don't care about the whole pieces if it's center or not. And the way to cut it off, people have been asking me. Here is the string, a cotton line that I'm using it. Some people ask if they can use the fishing line. No, I don't use the fishing line. I use this cotton line because it's soft and it absorbs the water. You can get this cotton lines from this. I was peeled it up from the rice bag on the very top. You have a whole bunch of it. Basically, the length of this is about 1.5 feet. And before I cut it, I usually dip it in the water, put it in a bucket of water to wet it and then cut it. I will show you how I cut it when I get to the point. And also, there's people ask me when you throw up the hum because you don't compress enough, because the bottom is not right on the bed. How do you avoid the ass crack? My way of doing is I don't care how much you compress because the bottom is still soft. So my way of correcting to avoid the ass crack is when you are doing the trimming, you trim thin enough. I would say about less than 1/4 inch. Then you should be fine. Okay. I don't have any problem with ass crack because I know that my bottom is thin enough, so I never have the problem. But if you leave your bottom a little bit too thick, I say over 1/4 inch, the chances of getting ass crack is very large. So that's my answer. So let's start it. To throw up the hum, basically, I am just focused on the top portion of the clay. So the top is center, but the bottom you can see is still wobbly. I'm going to dig a hole with my thumb. And now I'm pulling. When I'm pulling, basically is my left finger, my left thumb and my 4 fingers inside and pinch it and lift it up. My right hand is just kind of stabilized. Stabilize my left hand. So this is my left hand and right hand is just holding on the side of the clay. And the most stress, the most force is my thumb and the 4 fingers. I'm just pinching the clay and try to lift it up. Especially the first pull. And remember, you want slippery all over the clay. So before I do the second pull, I like everywhere to be slippery. Now my thumb is a bit too short to start from the bottom. So this time I'm going to use my right thumb, kind of hold it here, to facing my 4 fingers inside, and I'm making sure that my thumb is lower than my fingers inside the very bottom, so that I know that I have quite a bit of a thickness here for my bottom. this is my second pour. Now my clay is thin enough, so I'm just going to gently shape up the curve using my right point finger to guide it. This serves just like a metal rib, but before I use the metal rib, I kind of squeeze it a little bit. Right, and then now is the time to use the metal rib using this to not only to shape the nice curve on the outside, but also to remove the slip on the surface of the bowl, so that when I'm finished doing it, there's not slippery on the outside of the bowl. When I cut it, it's easier for me to lift it up. Okay, so you can see the outside. I'm using the metal rib to have a nice curve and also remove the slip. Now I want to show you how I focus on the inside of the bowl. I position my metal rib for the inside of my bowl. Basically, I will focus more on the inside of the bowl because I want my bowl nice curve on the inside. For the outside, I can always trim it off, but normally you don't trim the inside of your bowl, so you want your inside bowl nice curve and nice and smooth. Some people do like the throwing mark, but I don't usually get my throwing mark inside of my bowls. So this is how I hold my metal rib. I kind of bend it, so there's a nice curve. Okay, I bend it. There's a nice curve of my metal rib. So I'm just going to use the curve to guide the inside of the bowl. And make sure that the wheel is spinning counterclockwise, so you don't want to put your blade right against. You want your clay to follow the curve, so you don't want to hold your metal rib too straight. Okay, you want to bend it a little bit so it's kind of slide it and light it on top of your rim, on top of your bowl. Maybe the metal rib is a little bit hard for you. You might want to use the rubber, soft rubber rib. That might be easier for you to bend it. So now you can see the inside of the curve is nice and smooth. I don't have any slip left over on the inside of the bowl. And now I'm going to bend it outward so that I have a little bit thicker or wider rim here. To do that, usually I will use my right finger to kind of push in a little bit. So you have a little indent from here, and then with this metal rib, you want to push down from there, and your right fingers is holding on the outside of the rim. So now you see that I have a thicker rim for my shallow bowl. And then I'm using the chamois to smooth, to round the edge of the rim. So the whole piece is ready to cut it off. Let me change my angle. Okay, now my shallow bowl has done, and I need to cut it off. Here's some of the tips that you need to remember, so that when you cut it out, it will be easier for you. Okay, the first thing is I would use my finger, or if you have a wooden knife, you can use a wooden knife to draw, or maybe undercut an indent. Usually I don't grab a tool, I'm just using my finger. It's just point finger, and kind of draw a line here. So in this corner is where my line is gonna, my cotton wire is gonna sit. Okay, this is how I hold it. Tie a little crossover on my finger, and I'm holding right on the crossover, and stretch my string. Okay, and you don't need to spin super fast. Okay, just the normal shaping speed. Stretch. You don't want your line to loose. Okay, stretch it and let it cut a little bit, and let go of your left hand and pull your right hand. Okay, you have a loop, and then you pull, and when you pull, you want to pull level. Okay, you want to pull upward or downward. Okay, you want to pull the level. After you cut it, you stop the wheel and just use the finger, because I told you I already removed the slip outside of the bowl, so it's not going to be slippery. This is how I lift it up. You see that the bottom is quite a bit of a clay, so my shape still stays. You can see that the top is flat. Okay, let me show you to cut a piece here. Okay, I am using my point finger to draw an indent. So I'm going to cut a thin piece of clay on the very top. Wet your cotton wire, cross over, tie it and hold it, stretch it. Okay, after you cut it, let go and you pull your right hand. You pull level. Okay, you pull. You don't want to go up or downward. Pull level while the wheel is still spinning. Cut here and let go and pull, and this is how you cut the bottom. Cut it up the hum. You see that it's flat. You don't want to use the fishing line or some kind of a stiff wire, because this soft cotton string, when you're cutting it, it kind of forming nicely on the very top. kind of create a loop. And while the wheel is spinning, you create a loop and then you just cut it over. And that's how you cut it. This is throw a shallow bowl, cut it up the hum. Okay. it.